We
Good
are
morning.
live.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, buddy.
And how are you, my friend? Whoa. Whoa. How
Doing all
are
right.
you?
Yeah, doing all right, man. How
All
about
right.
you? How's everything going with you?
Very good. It's been a hard, obviously, it's been a hard month and a week. I asked my wife this morning, I said, I wonder when I'm going to stop counting the weeks. Like, am I going to say, okay, it's 37 weeks. Okay,
R-
it's 30, 38.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm having a really, but I will tell you the best thing when you're mourning somebody or there's a huge absence in your life, stay busy. By God, I got the wrong board up.
That's all right.
Cool. It fits within Own Your Monday.
No, it does.
uh,
It
got
does.
got some cool things to talk about today too, besides the retirement thing. But
Yep. Well, I was gonna say just to finish what you're talking about there. It's got to feel somewhat good how well Sandy's doing.
oh, dude. I have never been more proud. Now, mind you, I gotta be careful. I don't want to get emotional, so I gotta be careful what I talk
Right.
about.
Right.
But I've never been more proud of my brother. I mean, holy crap! Like, just talk about a warrior, because I saw him that night. So to say goodbye, what a warrior! Like, I didn't. I always knew that he would do something like that because it's something I would do. Do you do this, D? When I drive and like a deer runs out, I like hold my wife back.
100%.
Like my arm's gonna do better
No,
than
it's
that.
just natural. Right. Right. No,
It's
it's
because
just,
we're
it's just.
protectors.
Yep. Yep. Just instinctively. Yeah.
Yeah. This is why I have a hard time. Listen, I'm a firm believer of women and women power and, go like, but I'm old school that men protect women and children. That's where I'm old school. I open up doors. I open the door for my wife.
Right.
I'm old school that way. But we're married. I don't control her. I don't own her. Not a possession. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah. No, 100%.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
So,
Right.
but
You
we're
want to give
very
her a free.
protective.
Yeah, we want to give them her freedom, but we want to protect them as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hey, I don't see us live on
Oh,
your
hang on.
page.
Hang on. Let's
We're
do.
on Linkboard, but we're not on
Okay, hang on. You mean my
your
personal?
not your personal page. Your business page.
I'm not live there?
No.
Well, that's weird because it says it is. Yeah, I am. I'm live there. I'm going to share it though. I'm not live on my personal.
No. Like on Link Boss, we were.
Okay, hang on. Maybe it wasn't. Okay, one moment.
The banner's up on your.
Let me know. Let me know if it's live. And let's. Is this public? I like how they say boost and then it says, "Oh, you can't."
Right.
How
Right.
stupid. I should be, bro. I see me on the business page. Maybe it's not public. Hang on. I don't see how you don't see it. I see that it's there. Come on, people, help us out. Do you see us live? Say hello.
Oh, yep. And where you watching? Because I know.
Yeah,
It's
where are
live.
you watching? We're just having a couple little difficulties. So one
I know.
moment.
I know we're live on Link Boss.
Okay. A moment. I see that it's live on my personal and I see it's live on my business.
Okay. I can't.
Now, mind you, let's see. Yeah, I don't know, dude.
Okay. I'm not. Anyway.
Refresh your page.
Well, yeah, on your personal, I got it.
Okay, refresh the business page.
Okay.
Bear with us. Little tiny technical issue.
No. It's on your personal page. So I was able to grab.
Okay, hang on.
Wait a minute.
I see it. Hey,
Okay.
if anyone's on the business page, let us know that that's live. Just curious.
Okay. Anyway.
Maybe they kind of meter you. You know, they want you to. Let's find out. Let's find out. Nope, it's public. So you're just not seeing it. Not sure why, bro.
Okay.
I have this bad habit of this bro thing.
I say it all the time too.
Already, if you're stopping by, please say hi. We're going to talk about retirement strategies, but we opened up with just where we were talking about.
Oh, there it is.
What's that?
I got it.
Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, you know, I was talking about you know, when we first started, you know, this will be 6 weeks. It's very difficult, but at the end of the day, I was wondering, like, when do you stop counting? I was talking to my wife about that. You know, when do we stop counting? This is week 37 without my brother, but and how proud of him I am of him for protecting his wife like he did. And, you know, I saw him that night, and the first thing I thought was, what a warrior. But at the end of the day, there's a huge void. I lost my brother-in-law, great friend, great brother. I looked at him as my brother. And now, of course, my brother 3 months later. So my poor sister, you can only imagine, you know. So anyways, we're going to get, you know, you got to move on. And yes, Sandy is doing well, considering she's in rehab today. And you know, within a couple of weeks, she'll be out. And then, of course, we will have almost like a third funeral, if you will, but so that, you know, we're all together, the official one, friends and family. So anyways, I'm going to go back to StreamYard. So one moment. Oh, they all said, I'm sorry for the ones I didn't see.
Right. Yeah. No. I was gonna say, I definitely appreciate the comments. Keith Patterson said, "You don't stop counting. It's your method. It will just fade away on its own."
Oh no, I can't let it fade away. Now that he said that, I'm going to wear a shirt with a number on it every day. I'll just peel it off. Hey, there's a product idea. I'm kidding.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And by the way, folks, we have a rule here. You're going to see these kids once in a while. You're going to see a dog. You might even see my Coda bear. This is the new economy, man. You can be anywhere. We have information, and do you remember that news guy where the maid comes in, or what do they call it? Nanny. And she's on her hands, or she's crawling, and you can see her, and she's grabbing these kids, and he looks embarrassed.
Right.
I thought that was great. Like, I get it. The old me, when I had capital, I would have been that guy. Like, I wore a suit every day, a tie every day. I remember convincing my attorney, because it was a mistake for me. It was an accident, I should say, not a mistake. I forgot my tie. And I used to have ties at the office just in case. Well, those went to the dry cleaner. So I didn't have it. So I'm meeting with my clients, and 3 out of how many I was with said, man, I really like that look because it's less intimidating, which I never knew that it was intimidating. Like,
right. You know what's funny is my uncle would be so upset if he didn't wear a tie.
right.
You know what I mean? This is 25 years ago. I'm like, listen, man, you know, I said, us younger guys, we don't feel like we have to wear a tie anymore.
No.
You know,
I mean,
there's wear a dress shirt, have one button unbuttoned, and you know, and still look presentable. We don't.
I'm not totally against it either.
Right. We don't need I mean, right. But like, it's not what it used to be.
Exactly. And by the way, I'm losing my voice a little bit. I've been doing a lot of training videos, some emotional issues, you know. So I'm losing my voice a little bit. So I apologize. John, we can't share that link. It's not like a Zoom link. You can watch it on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever we are. So by the way, if you guys have a question, and by the way, welcome, John. Hey, I'm going to fix this. Like, my monitor is so far away that some of these things I can't see. Oh, and by the way, when I talk today, I want to spotlight Jubilant Careers. John is a partner with Jubilant. D and I are on the other side of that. And I brought D in because D and I are doing some great things together, and we want to change the world. We really do. And even though you get knocked off your axis, I almost said something else.
That was a good cover.
Sometimes you get knocked off your axis a little bit, a death or something, health problems, something like that. Somehow you got to dig deep and just keep going. You got to keep going.
Right.
And it's all of you that give me that energy. D, you give me that energy. John, all of my clients, the outpour and the love and support for this family has been insane. Like, it's just, it gives
really
you,
has, man. It's been so impressive how much a community comes together between, your side and Joe's side, and you know what I mean, and just the outpouring across the board has been.
That's why I love this area.
What like the daughter-in-law and Joe's sister, which I just the dedication of being up there the whole time, being able to do that with everyone else covering, you know what I mean? Like, it's never easy,
It's not.
It's been very impressive,
By the way, this is going to tie into today's topic, folks. So I'm going to talk about that for a moment, but I do want to get a shout out to my nieces. There was multiple warriors in this. What my brother did. My hardest moments are my mornings, because my brother, we called him TikTok Toddy for a reason. But I miss it though. Oh my God. So my nephew and I, we both admitted that we were going down this rabbit hole, and now watching all the things that we avoided, not all of them. I watched a lot of stuff that you would send me, but at the end of the day, and we're like, we both come to the conclusion, like, he was right. Like, it was so funny. He almost converted us to be like, anyways. You're crying, and then I'm laughing. Do you know that I'm still sending him things that I come across that I'm like, oh, Todd's got to see this, because yesterday something happened. What was it? Anyways, and I was like ready to text my brother. Now, my brother called me a lot of times at his lunch break at where he worked, and we would talk about certain things or just touch base. And of course, we went out to dinner with him. I believe in date night, so we ended up teaming up together, especially because of COVID. So it formed this new. Thank God for that. Do you know that, as bad as COVID was, do you know how many blessings were also in that? Like, it allowed me to live outside more. Do you get what I mean? Like, I think people live more. This is why there's a lot of job problems right now. It's because people decided, yeah, I want more out of life. So
no, you're 100% right. I mean, between spending more time with the family, strengthening the family unit, being outside more, there's definitely been some good blessings out of COVID. I 100% agree.
Yes. Okay. Hang on. Yeah. So here's the thing. So we're gonna go into this new way of retiring. I used to be a financial planner, and there was this old way, right? And it's still taught to this day. This is one of the reasons why I left that industry. For one, it killed creativity. Nothing against, like, I love that where I came from, and I love the knowledge and the licensing that I had to go through to do all that. Quite honestly, I wanted to work for Dean Witter and move to New York City. And my wife was adamant. We talked about It's a Wonderful Life. That was me. Like, this is a very old movie. Jimmy Stewart's in it. And it so reminded me of, like, I'm going to conquer the world. And my wife always had to listen to my crazy ideas. And she wanted to stay home in the hometown and have kids. And it's so parallel that it makes us laugh. But at the end of the day, I fell back in love with this area. I love it so much here. Like, you even helped me with that.
Oh,
like, you would say stuff. I'm like, really? Like, but you're not a native.
No.
And so I learned from these people that weren't natives, meaning people coming in, what an amazing area. And like, really? Like, I was, yeah, it's just so amazing here. And there's so much to do. You just got to look for it. Like, somebody says, how often have you gone? Not that this is like a big thing, but have you ever been to the Lucy Museum? I've never been. Have you?
I have been.
Okay, fantastic. I heard it was, I'm like, really? Like, It was good? And not the museum. I'm sorry. Yeah, the museum. whatever the new comedy center is. The comedy center.
I have not been to the new comedy center yet. Now, Sheena and the kids have been like 2 or 3 times.
Fantastic.
But I have yet to go there.
Yeah, so there's just, you got to look. I don't care, folks, where you are. It's going to tie into this new, the new way to retire in the new economy. It's a an extension of the new economy. And if you look first before you move, make sure like you're just not bored. Like look at all of the qualities of where you are. My goal, there's something that I'm working on. What's this? Hang on. Oh, my goal is to keep young folk here. I really would love that. And with the new economy and the new way of retiring has a lot to do with creating your own thing or remote working.
Right. Right. Well, it's funny how you mentioned that because I know Chautauqua County, like the Visitors Bureau, more importantly, like the economic development, Chautauqua Economic Development Agency is really putting a big push on retaining youth here and getting people to like not second homes but primary homes moving to the area. So
that would be fantastic. I would love for my son to come back. My in-laws would hate to hear that. And we poke fun, like we're constantly saying, I'm going to convince them whoever negotiates better. But it's all kidding and fun for sure, because there's no winners there. But with a couple things that have just recently happened, there's 2 things to learn from it, folks, is we're never guaranteed tomorrow. We're not guaranteed today.
Right.
That's right. We're blessed to wake up, right? But we're not guaranteed. My brother that day woke up, but he wasn't guaranteed for the full day. So we have to remember that we have to remember our why. And family is huge. Family, friends are big. I know this year we're going to restart a tradition of Friendsgiving. And I'm looking forward to that. We've got some big things in the works right now. Some of them that you're going to learn about offline, and working with some big people right now. Thanks to my mentors as well. We have some incredible SaaS systems that we have developed that's going to help those that are listening and are in the boss group. If you're not, I'll trail this one. Hang on. If you're not in this group, join. Trust me, it will change your life. Why can't I find it? Oh, I know. One moment. And also join the challenge. It's all of this information's in the group as well. Let me see. Can I do that? I probably can't. Never mind, folks. Well, I can show you this. So it's just called Link with a Y, Link Boss, the group. Make sure you join because there's a lot of great things there. And we have a challenge, 52 Creator Challenge, that's going to teach you how to retire now. So we're going to go into that right now. Let me come back.
There's a link in the chat.
Perfect. So today's topic, new way to retire. If you have questions for us, feel free to put it in the comments. Can you read the one? I don't know who the Facebook user is, but it starts with learned on the 16th.
Yeah, that's actually from Keith. That's actually from Keith in the Link Boss group. learned on the 16th. My position was being eliminated. Was able to quickly apply for a new position that allowed me to speed interview for another interview. Had my official interview this past Friday and got the official call on Monday. I got the new job. So, yep, congratulations, Keith.
Congrats, Keith. Except for the word job. Just kidding. I'm kidding, Keith. But congratulations to you. I think that's amazing. And just remember, folks, with this topic we're going to talk about, it's going to go to 9:15 or 10 if you can stay around. Sometimes we go over time. Most of the time we go over time.
We don't ever end on time.
It's this brain right here, man.
No, who cares? It's all good. You know what I mean? Like, whenever we talk out, we talk out. You know what I mean? So.
And yes, I do talk in my sleep. Not always. Not like I used to. Used to be a sleepwalker. I don't do that anymore. So let's talk about the old way. So the old way of retiring, and this goes into the new economy, because you have so many different ways to do this now. We have life-changing things that we've worked on, and working on. And especially now, all of these things are. So here's what happens, folks. Sometimes you'll see somebody out of the blue and it's like, how did they do that? Like, it looks like an overnight success. And I forget who quoted this, but it's like, yeah, it took 9 years for my overnight success. Like, you got to put a little work in there, but if you do it right, you can really, really change and make up for time. So some of you that might be saying, hey, I'm 40 or I'm 35, I don't really got my retirement going yet. You can make up for it if you do it right. We're not going to teach that today. That's going to be tonight in the Link Boss group, how to do big swings. But what I will tell you to do is don't go the traditional way. What do I mean by that? Matter of fact, Grant Cardone always talks about, I'm not saying not to do this, folks. So there's some things I agree with Grant. There are some things I agree with Dave Ramsey. There's a lot of things I disagree with Dave Ramsey. And there's a lot of things that I disagree with Grant Cardone. But I agree, and they're both amazing guys, right? So, but you don't have to believe in everything. But one of the things that I do agree with is there could be a new way and a better way.
Right.
What I love is, what's that?
And I look at retirement a little differently than a lot of people, but we'll, like we'll get to that. I just think that some people need to be busy and always do something. But it's being able to have the right to pick and choose what you want to do.
Yes.
Is retirement,
Exactly.
I watched, and sorry, I know I probably cut you off here.
No. This is good.
I watched my grandmother. She worked 7 days a week, all the way through her 80s. When she hit 90, she actually worked 2 or 3 days a week. She stopped working at 94 and died at 94.
Wow.
Like some people needed, she needed that to keep going, and so I guess realize what kind of person you are and what you want to do. It's like some people want to hit the golf course at 55 and never touch the thing again.
Right.
You know what I mean? Some people need to be busy, like you and I. When we retire, we're still going to be dabbling and having fun and doing stuff. You know what I mean? And working on stuff. It's just not going to be the crazy hours that we do now.
Exactly.
But to say that we're going to we're done.
Yep.
I just don't ever see me doing that.
No, matter of fact, I've seen the alternative of that, and it's not a good one. And I'm going to come with that. That's kind of the end part of this is what not to do. Right.
Right. And what's it mean to you? You know? So sorry.
No, dude. Co-host.
Right. No, I know.
Laws of physics. Let's see. What 1 second. John. Laws of physics are appreciable everywhere, and objects in motion stay in motion. Absolutely. And that's a good one because you have to remember that the ones that retire. So I'm going to flip it on its head a little bit. The ones that retire and get in the rocker, how that's, on the porch, don't do well.
Right. So, exactly.
And here's the other thing. Let's pretend your work life is, obviously your teenage years, and then you go up into, let's say 75, 80, depending on what your life expectancy is. Well, what is the early age now? 67?
Yeah.
For retirement, Social Security. Yep. First of all, if it were me, I would never use that for a reason to wait. Okay. So, there's a way you can live off of your investments. And if you do it right, your investment should be paying you right on through. So you can retire whenever you want. So we're going to talk about mini retirements. We're going to start out with mini, and then the main idea of being a creator, and especially like a course creator, you can create big swings that's going to make a huge difference in your approach into what the new way of retiring is. Let's see here. What's this one? Yeah. By the way, put your goals right now. Like, how do you see retirement for yourself? And see if today changes that just a little bit. Not the love of what you're going to do. I'm talking about when you do it. So this is amazing. Obviously, D, this is probably something that probably fits within you, except if I was to guess, 1 second, it would be Colorado.
You mean, hopefully in the winters. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Right. Colorado in the winter, some little summers. I like the Tennessee area too.
Oh, love. I can't wait. My wife and I should this year go there. She's seen it. I haven't seen it yet. We also want to, believe it or not, see, because I'm a creator and I love creators, we want to see Graceland. Elvis was a creator. Forget the fact that he could sing. Look at what he did. He invented the jumpsuit, which, do you know what that jumpsuit was? Where do you think the inspiration came from? Do you know?
I mean, parachuting?
No, with the thing around his side,
You're
No,
right.
believe it or not, it was inspired. He took martial arts, and it was basically a spin-off of a gi.
Huh.
The martial arts gi.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, it kind of looks like some sort of a jumpsuit. And then Evil Knievel took Elvis's Presley, like he borrowed that.
Right. Yeah.
But
it's funny because like Evil, I totally get that out of Evil because his personality was bigger than life, trying to be the biggest showman he could.
Yes. And really he was a stuntman, so there's that.
Right.
But yeah, so the idea is mini retirement. So what do I mean by that? If you're a creator, if you're a business owner, you can pull this off a little more. Okay. This is why the JOB thing, we talk about how to be your own boss, not bossing people, of your own life, owning your own Mondays.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean you're the boss. Like when I had Capital, it was all about team. Even now, I'm forming more team for Sparterra and the things that we do overseas. This is a world economy. We got to get past the walls. No pun intended for that. But I mean, we got to get past it's a world economy. Okay. World economy. And with that being said, there's so many things that you can do today to raise income and to retire faster. We talked about,
right. And I mean, and that's the point. That's why the digital world is so important, because your shop's always open and your potential client, customer, or audience is expounded by that much more, because it is a world economy and not just singular anymore. So
today you can get currency from anywhere and it gets converted to US. So
right.
We live in a digital economy anyway. Like we don't need the Bitcoin and Ethereum. We're already there with, listen, if I was to transfer money to you or you transfer money to me, darn well that there's no truck going there and giving those dollars up. So how that's happening, I don't know. I kind of like don't even want to know. But at the end of the day, no money's really, it's digital currency. Really, where's, maybe we should really look into that. But at the end of the day, we live in a digital economy. What do I mean by that? Folks, you could be a creator right now, right? And everything's on automation. Like even I have coders, and a part of my business is on automation to where we put money up into what's called escrow. And as soon as they hit their milestones, it kicks that escrow back out. Okay. If the escrow is not in there, then what does it do?
Right. It's not right. I mean, then they don't get paid. They don't work.
Well, yes, you don't want to do that, but it takes it from your bank account.
Right.
So you set it up. That's why you have to have a bank account associated with it. So today you can have this automation work for you in so profound way, which we talk about tonight in Linkboard to go deeper in the group. So with the retirement aspect, one of my coaches and many people I've learned from in the past, they said, reward yourself 4 times out of the year, every quarter, go somewhere. I don't care if it's a weekend. I don't care if it's a whole week. Some of them even go a little more than that. So my wife and I are going to try to pull this off this year. Not quite so soon, but we're going to do it. And at the end of the way, here's why. You hit it on the head with your aunt or your grandma. Grandma. I know that my wife's grandfather never hit retirement. No, he retired and within a month passed away. How horrible was that? Right. And they had this ideal, and get this one. He took the larger survivorship because they wanted to travel. So that kind of hurt her grandmother because of that. So there's all these things that could happen. So at the end of the day, think of how many people don't make it to the retirement. We all know that I lost my brother 6 weeks ago, or 5 weeks ago this week. He didn't make it to his retirement. So you're going to want to plan some mini retirements now. See the world now. I know they were going to go see my son, my nephew gifted my brother and his wife to go to Italy. How amazing is that? Well, my brother's not going to be there, but they're still all going to go. Okay. My wife and I we're forcing ourselves onto them. So we're hoping to go to Italy as well. Do it now, folks. If you can do it now. This is another reason we're here. We're the whole idea of Biz Morning and the Boss program is to help you own your own thing, to have your own. Hey, good morning, Susie. You got it. Yes, there will be a recording of this, and yes, training tonight, 4 parts of the training. So anyways, Susie's a creator. Our goal is to get all of you to get rid of a JOB and have your own thing. This is where this really starts to happen for you. You have big wins. You have good planning. We're going to teach you all of that stuff. There's a new way of retirement. There's a new way of investing. There's all of these new ways that are going to really help you design your life, especially with exits, which we will not talk about right now. Okay, so imagine you started your career, your life at 20. Okay, you worked obviously in your teenage years, but some of us had children early, like my wife and I. There was some sacrifices there. So you sacrifice in the beginning, going to college, all that good stuff, knowledge, getting knowledge. Okay. But realistically, about 30 on is where there's some movement, right?
Right.
So between 30 and on, what do they teach you? They teach you to stock away all the money, right? 10% is the minimum, 20% is the best. And then guess what? Work. And then hopefully you're going to get Social Security, but you're going to retire at 67. By the way, they're wanting to move that number again.
Right.
We all know that it's going to go bankrupt. Let's be honest. There's no way it's going to be there. I don't even count on it. If it's there, great. But I don't even count on it. But at the end of the day, 67, folks, now look at your life expectancy. Now, don't look at the national average. Look at your family history and start doing the math. Now, I looked at mine. I take care of myself way far better than some. And I do have longevity, especially with the women's side, but even the male side, we have longevity in our family. So I do have that working for me, but so did my brother. And my brother didn't make it to retirement because of what happened. So we also have accidents, right? There's other risk involved. This is why you want to take mini retirements now. I want you to make a list of all the things that you wanted to do in your retirement and say, what if we flip this on its head? What can I start doing now? Where could I go now? Right?
Right.
And for those of you, well, Tim, I can't afford that. Well, yes, you can, because again, especially if you're in the creator movement, the new economy, like Robert Kiyosaki always says, create the asset. How can you create an asset? Real simple. I'm going to throw that to you, Dave, real quickly. What do you think you could do? Let's pretend somebody says, you know what? I'm taking you up on that. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take something off my retirement bucket list. And let's say you have a JOB. I'm going to, this year's vacation I'm going to live even more in it, be more present. That's key too. What do you think you could do to raise the cap? Let's say somebody did want to go to Europe, wanted to go to Italy, wanted to go to Spain, wherever you wanted to go. What do you think you could do to do that?
Well, I mean, honestly, that's why we're doing the 52 Creator Challenge.
Yes.
would be my very first answer. I mean, the financial freedom, side hustle. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of different ways to do that. But you can, if you want to go pro and you want to get away from the JOB and work for yourself, you're already working towards that. Just set aside whatever you want to do, however much that's going to cost, to start planning on that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, and imagine, let's say your dream vacation. I always say go with the dream first, because you're not going to be any younger than you are right now. I don't care what age you are.
Right.
Whatever age you are, you're not going to be any younger than you are right now. I'll give you an example of this. There was a time my wife and I went to Daytona. We had all of our kids with, and I was on the phone with my brother, and he was telling me it was snowing like a banshee here, right? And we were living the life there. My company was doing really well. This is going, I mean, my kids weren't too little, but they were young. And then there was some other things that were going on with our company, and I had some business. I actually was doing business out on our terrace, and I have this towel over me because you know how it is with the sun, and I couldn't see my laptop, and my wife has a picture of it. I promised I wasn't going to work, a lot, and but at the end of the day, I said that's when we were rich. Forget the money. It's being with family and doing those amazing life experience things. That's where wealth really is, right?
Right.
Being alive, being present, taking care of your family. That's where it's at. And I even said it to my sister. I said, there was a time when family was around. She had a beautiful, gorgeous home, in-ground swimming pool. I don't even think I was ever in it. Like, what? Like, now if we could go back, I would be like, Brenda, let's have all the family over. Let's have everybody swim. Like, isn't it funny how you learn what to do when it's too late?
Right. Right.
Don't ever have regrets. Never have it's too late. So what I would do, what is on your bucket list of retirement, of what you want to do in retirement? Let's say it's Italy. What does that look like? How much does it cost? What are the tickets? Right?
Right.
I would look into that, plan it. I used to tell my wife, plan the vacation, I'll make it happen type of deal, right? So at the end of the day, what I would do is, let's say it's Italy, and let's say it's 10 grand. I don't know what it costs. Okay. So, but let's just say it's $10,000. You're going to have a lot of fun. And by the way, when you go over there, there's an app you can speak, and then it speaks their language. So you can be anywhere today. So let's say it's 10 grand. I'm going to give you guys a little example. Okay. So $10,000. What do you know right now? What do you know that people always ask you? I always go to the gardener thing because it's low fruit. Didn't you get it? Anyways, I'm horrible at those little jokes. But okay, so it's you think like gardening, huge. And if you're really good at it, I'm telling you right now, probably in your first month of launching that course, done right, you can easily make 10 grand. And it will cost you a fraction to make that 10 grand. I would even say way more than that, done right. And well, how would you do that? Well, you learn it, and we teach that. But at the end of the day, I would do a course. It's the easiest thing that you can do. What is it that you can teach? So let's pretend you're married or whatever. You don't even need to be married, but let's say, okay, I'm going to shoot for whenever your vacation is, right? So let's say vacation is August or whatever. I'm going to shoot for Italy. That is my top, or wherever it is, Belize, whatever it is. Design the vacation. What's it going to cost? Where are you going to stay? Design it. You don't know until you look. Design it. Then what? That's a Jim Rohn thing, right? Robert Kiyosaki says, whatever you want, create the asset that's going to do it, right?
That's right.
So at this point, I would say, okay, it's 10 grand. I'm going to create a course on knowledge that I have that people want. Now, what you do is you do a brain dump first. What are all the things I'm good at? Some of you are good at furniture restoration and flipping it.
Right.
Okay. Some of you are good at canning, meaning you take food and you put it in a can. Some of you are good at gardening. Some of you are good at scrapbooking. Some of you are good at being an artist. Some of you are good on a guitar. Could you do lessons like a course, one on many, not people coming to your home? Okay. So now you map out that course, and then you put the course together, and it's a lot more simpler than you would think.
Right.
And then you package it in a way, it goes into a course creator, which we have. It's CoachLink, and TrainerLink. So you put it in this, and then you put it out there for sale. I'm telling you, within weeks or a month, you can easily, depending on what it is, okay, easily create more than needed for that vacation. Here's two things that you're going to do by doing that. By the way, we have one sheets and we have PDFs that explains this in further detail tonight, just so you know. Right. So, you know, you're going to see a whole game plan on this.
You know, and the thing is, like, and I know we talk about this a good bit. You know, what are you good at? What are you also passionate about? And what do you want to do?
Exactly.
And whatever that combination is out of those three, you know, because you might be good at something, but you absolutely hate it.
Yes.
You know, so you know what I mean? Like, so, you know, in the long haul, you're not going to be happy doing that because you hate it. So make sure you pick something that you can enjoy doing and invest your time into, and not just something to get to that one asset.
Oh, without a doubt. And here it's a good point that you say that, because a long time ago, a client was like, they had to raise capital. They were having financial troubles. And I said, here's the best way to do that. They actually were renting out. By the way, if any of you, this new way of retirement, one of the things that you need to do is take an audit of your life. Do you have excess, like stuff you don't even know you own anymore? If I were you, and by the way, this does away with stress, anxiety. If I were you, here's what I would do. This client, I'm going to use this client as an example. They had storage units and they had 3 of them. And they were having this debt problem. They were having all these problems. And everybody was at a different level. There's different reasons. Medical was number one of a cause of this. And that can run up pretty fast. But at the end of the day, I said, okay, it's kind of like how you eat an elephant. One, which is kind of gross if you think about it, but one bite at a time. We need a new analogy. But one bite at a time, right? So with that, I said, here's what we need to do. We need to do an audit on your life first. And what I did, and I encourage everybody to do an audit on your life. And here's why. 2, if not 3, I want to say it was 3, but let's just say it was 2 storage units at $100 each, $200 a month. I said, what the hell's in there? They explained it. I said, do you really need it? I had a thing with my wife. I said, babe, if we can't put it in our pocket, wear it, or put it in a cabinet, I don't care if it's willed to us. Now, there is one bed from the Vansty Corporation. I get that a little bit, but when it's big, it's time to get rid of it. Like, we can't take these things with us. Only humans have emotional attachment to things. Isn't that weird?
Right.
Okay. So with that being said, what I would do is an audit. So I told this client, I created this thing. It was actually part of this course, and they brought it home and they did their audit. After their audit, I had them audit their expense habits, meaning, what are you spending money on? After that, they already were curing themselves. They were saying, oh my God. So get this client though. This client's attic was full. Their basement was full. Their garage was so full that now not as a hoarder. I mean, I guess it is, but at the end of the day, they couldn't park their cars in it anymore. Have you ever seen somebody build another garage because the other garage is full? It's that. Now, if you have a business, I get it, but I'm talking about. So at the end of the day, I said, listen, here's what you got to do. You're getting rid of everything that's no longer a necessity, and anything that is good, you're going to donate and you get a receipt for it, because that's for taxes. Okay. I'm not a CPA, full disclosure, but do it anyway. And then bring that to your CPA. He's going to love you for it. So then what they did is now remember, when these clients came to me, her knees were aimed this way. He's like this. They were blaming each other for the problems. And then I reminded them, I may have said this before on another thing. I reminded them as to why they got married. And then I asked them, do you guys have a date night? And they're like, no, like we can't afford that. We haven't gone out to dinner. And I said, you need that. Okay. I'm going to say yes to that. Right. And you should have saw how she lit up. She was getting all the blunt of the calls, meaning collections. And these were good people. They lost their business. Anyways, So at the end of the day, I said, what do you think her life is like when she's getting these calls? And he like realized, and he's like, oh my God. And then all of a sudden he was starting to feel less worthy as a husband. Right. And he's like, looking to her in my office. Now, I'm not a marriage consultant, but he's looking at her in the office. He goes, I apologize. I did not know this was going on. Like he didn't know. Like she shared what her day was like. Anyways, and then from there, we now move into an audit. By the way, they were about to get a divorce.
Huh.
I encourage anybody that's going through anything bad in life, don't let that be the thing. Okay. Like, don't let that be the thing. Remember, and in sickness and in health and richer and poor, remember those things, right?
But like, what's the, and you gotta be careful of that, because what's the percentage of people getting divorced over financial reasons?
That's the number one reason.
Well, that's the number one reason, right?
That infidelity, but somewhere in there, it's the top.
It's up there,
yep. Right? He didn't pay attention to her. He didn't, like, him and I had a one-on-one together, and then she thanked me later saying, "I know you must have said anything, but he's a different man, and I just appreciate it." And that made me feel good, you know?
Right.
Because if we can help, that was a byproduct of what I did. But at the end of the thing, here's what they did, folks. And here's how they got mini retirement. And this is how they did more than most do in retirement. And I'm going to tell you why here in a second. But here's what they did. They got rid of the storage units, sold everything first because that was a cost. That had to go first. If they didn't need it, if they can't use it, it's got to go. Either donate or sell. If it's something that's going to raise capital, they did that. Before they knew it, they had over $7,000, almost $7,000 in capital raised by selling stuff that they were paying money to store. What? Like, you have to remember, everything you own depreciates in value. Why would you pay money to store it? If it's a antique car that someday you're going to sell and it's worth money, maybe I would accept that. But at the end of the day, sell it now. Nothing's worth more. Anyways, you get the point. Right. Then they moved into the basement, the attic, the garage. They got rid of, now get this, the wife said, mainly for her, but even for the husband, I have never had anything reduce my stress more than getting rid of all this stuff. My house has never looked better than getting rid of all this stuff. I even encourage businesses. What do you got laying around? Liquidate that. Like, what do you think that businesses that are smart, like Walmart, they don't keep inventory. If it doesn't move, it goes, even if they lose a little money on it. If they get anything, it's reducing their losses. Right. As long as you have wins and you have small losses, you still are winning. So at the end of the day, my stress was lower. This was lower. Their marriage became, guess what appointment got canceled? And it was not mine. The attorney.
The attorney, right.
They were no longer going to get a divorce. Okay. So how cool was that? And at the end of the day, he became a better husband. She became a better wife. They came together, and hopefully, I don't know, but hopefully they stuck with, I know of a lot of people, including my brother and sister-in-law, that believed in that date night thing. It's something I preach a lot. I preach that a lot. I always preach to guys that I talk to, when's the last time you gave your wife a compliment? And I don't mean, okay, I got to think of one. No, a sincere. They do a lot for us. Okay. How about women? When's the last time you know what I mean?
Right.
Do that now. Don't wait until somebody's gone and you think about it. Do it now. I have no regrets with my brother. We buried hatchets of things that him and I've done. We all do bad shit to each other. But at the end of the day, we buried that and we knew our relationship was good. And I feel great and super proud of him. Okay. And I know that he was an incredible husband. Nobody will ever deny that. Like, we all can improve ourselves, but he took care of her, just like my grandfather. My grandmother said, your grandfather loved me so much. He took care of me even in his death. And I used to use that when I worked at Prudential, because some guys used to say, well, I'm not going to make the new guy rich. Dude, if you love your wife, you want her to have the best life ever. I told my wife, if love hits you, like, I can't be jealous. I'm gone. So I want you happy. I love her so much. I want her to be happy. I'm hoping he doesn't make her happier than me. So I'll say that. That's a guy thing. But at the end of the day,
it's 100% a guy
I want
thing.
her to be happy. Like, I don't want her to be sad. I don't want her to be miserable the rest of her life. And more importantly, I don't want her to have to do it. Do you see where I'm going here?
Yeah. Well, no,
I don't want her
exactly.
to have to do it. I want her to be financially so set that she's good. I certainly don't want her to worry when I'm gone. Okay. So how do you do this? So they pulled off all this money. They audited their finances. They audited their spending habits. And they started working on things that either they do for themselves or how can they improve upon the new form of business. And they started flourishing. And then I taught them how to take mini vacations. Date now, every week, once a week. You don't have to spend a lot of money, but go on date night. Go somewhere. It could even be a picnic. It doesn't have to go to a restaurant, but be about you and her together or as a couple. So that's number one. Number two, in a perfect world, 4 times a year, but if you have a JOB, that's going to be hard to pull off. If you go to the 52 Creator Challenge or go to Link Boss, the group, we're going to teach you how to do this stuff. But at the end of the day, what if you formed a course on your knowledge? Trust me, you can create 10K fairly quick. If you guys want to learn how to do that, jump in tonight's program. We're going to teach you how to do that. So imagine you form 10K. And for me, I always like my wife to do it because she just feels that. Like I say, honey, plan the vacation. Plan it. She says, I'm really missing the kids, my son. Plan it. Just tell me what I need to do. You know what I mean? Like, as long as you give me time, I can make it happen. So folks, maybe it's this fall. Maybe it's October. My wife and I, our anniversary is October 5th. I want to do something amazing this year. I don't know what it is yet. But I want it to be what she wants to do because whatever she wants, I love. So that's what I want to do. Right. Folks, here's why. Ready? If you guys had a line, once again, I have the PDFs tonight. If you have a line, if you're 20 years old, let's say that's when some of you are in college until 24 or whatever. But at the end of the day, in your 20s somewhere, you start pursuing your career. And right around 30 is when you start really thinking about retirement and you're staking away. But if you're going the old way of doing it and you're going to work, there's no more pensions. So it's either 401ks or whatever equivalent, but there's no longer any pensions. And I know there will be a day, no Social Security. So be self-reliant. And by the way, jobs are not reliant. You can't rely on a JOB. So be careful of that. Learn ways to be resourceful. Learn ways to do better. Norm Cady, good morning. Norm Cady, he's still in movement. I'm not going to say Norm's age, but he's older than you and I. He's still going, man.
I know.
The more you keep going, folks, the longer you're going to live. And you got to love life. Okay, you got to love life. The more you keep doing, trust me, you're going to love life. I know we're in overtime. I got just a little more.
And the cool thing about Norm is now he's at the point where he gets to pick and choose what he wants to do.
He gets to pick and choose. And Norm did a lot of right. So he doesn't Norm did a lot of things right. So, and now he's got some other things working for him. He doesn't think, oh, maybe I'm too old for that. No, keep going. Don't worry about the age. That'll take care of itself. What if I wanted to do something and I'm like, oh, I'm getting too old to do that, as long as I'm physically able to do it. But I want to do it. Then do it. Even if you had 4 days into it, at least you love what you do.
Well, exactly. Then move it up to the front of the list. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So let's say you retire. By the way, it's going to be longer, folks. Well, let's say it's 67. First of all, we're all used.
It's 67, but and don't quote me on this one, but I heard it's because they're going to move to 71.
Yes, that's what I heard. 71. Okay, because supposedly life expectancies go up. Wait a minute.
Right.
Then we just go through a pandemic, but wait a minute. There's accidents. There's more people on the road, and there's more people with some issues, if you know what I mean. We know what happened 5 weeks ago. But let's say 67, you retire, and let's say for whatever reason, your life expectancy health-wise is 75. Really? 10 years? About?
Right.
Not even, right? Yeah, not even by 1 year. No, 2 years. Simple math. Really? That's it? That's all you got? No, do it now. You can do it now. Start planning your mini retirements now. Start living like you out loud now. Make your list. What do I want to do? What was I wanting to do in my retirement? And what can I bring into now? Why can't I go to Hawaii now? Why can't I go to Italy now? Why can't I tour Europe now? Why can't I go to France or your homeland where you're from? Mine, I would have to be in multiple places at once. But other than that, why can't you do that, right? Why can't you do that? 1 second.
Right.
I don't know who this is.
It'd be like a 20-city tour.
What's that?
That's Keith.
Oh,
Yep.
Keith.
I said, yeah, that's Keith.
I don't plan on Social Security, and if it's there, it's a bonus. I'll give it away to charity. It's not going to be a lot, folks. So don't count on it. Don't do the old way. It's a joke. Still invest, but I'll give the Grant Cardone method. He invests in things that pay you passive income. Smart.
Right.
You can even get investors that help you do that. You can use other people's money to buy almost anything. Once again, you'll learn that in Link Boss, but you can buy anything today. There's not a business. Everyone, trust me on this. There's not a business that you can't own. I mean, within reason. If it's like, well, I want to own Google. Yeah, maybe you can't own that. But look at Gary Vaynerchuk. Do you know, I will bet you and I almost think he put his cards on the table though, but I'll bet you and I will see the day he owns the Jets. How much you want to bet? You know why? He just keeps working towards it, keeps saying it. You can be anything you want today. Yep, not to sound hypey, but you can be anything.
No, I mean, John had a good point here a little bit ago. If you visualize it with your heart and mind, your desires for yourself and family, they will manifest and become real. The people and opportunities will show up to help you achieve those goals.
We've seen it lately.
Right.
Like legit. Matter of fact, I have an investor that was talking about something. He says, we have this idea. And then that's what it's like. I already knew that not only we're a fit for something, but all these other things. It's that we call that a spark. You can create a spark. I remember, like, I've made this comment, thoughts become things, right?
Right.
Thoughts become things, folks. Like, if you just think about it and then you lean towards it, before you know it, it's here. It's here. So I would start out. So imagine the worst case scenario, 67, 75, let's just say 75, 80 is where the number is. A lot of people, maybe that number, like me, it could be 100. We've had a few guys in my family that live to be 100. So there's that. So at the end of the day, though, here, I'm going to give you one more caveat and we're going to end it, is what are you feeling like at that age? Like, you know what I mean? Are you going to really have that same, like, I want to be in Italy, maybe at 6, 7, it sounded fun then, there could be that. You're going to have way more energy now. I'm 55. So I have more energy now than I'm going to have. Hopefully not, but 75, right?
Right.
But here's another thing. There's a reason why teachers, female teachers especially, live to be old. That nurturing thing helps them. However, female attorneys don't live to be that old. Their career choices can actually change your mortality rate.
Oh, yeah.
Without the obvious. Obviously, a fireman, risky stuff. But I'm talking stress. Stress can kill. Stress can hurt. So be careful of that. So if you flip it on your head, especially if you create your own thing, okay? And remember, the new economy, you can be a consultant. You could be a book writer. You could be a course creator for the infinite amount of time. Tony Robbins has done it. Dean Graciosi's done it. So many have done it. They're constantly they have so much knowledge that they just keep sharing, and people love them. And you can create a lucrative business out of that.
Right.
So there's that. So I would say, once you understand business, once you understand LLCs and S corps, and that you can create your own economy, you no longer have a number on anything. You mini retired now. You go to see things now. See things now. That's what it's all about. I would highly recommend it. You can create passive income to where something pays you perpetuity every month some things for the forever. Like if you have an exit, if you create a business, you can sell that business for a big profit as well. There's so many ways to skin this cat, and we'll explain more tonight.
All right.
Any other questions before we go? Let's see. Absolutely no turn on the money taken for retirement. Right. I don't quite understand that one. Absolutely zero return on the money taken for retirement. Oh, I get what he means. Yes. But at the end of the day, you want to protect yourself so that you have enough money to cover your life, and if you have a spouse, that. But there's so many better ways today to do that than the old traditional way. Save. There's so many people that never receive their retirement, never receive it. So think about all the dreams that died. Oh, I'm going to see this someday. Oh, we're going to go here someday.
Right. No, you're 100% right.
Alrighty, this concludes tonight or today. And for those that want to go deeper with this and the PDFs, and we have a lot more tonight, just get into the group tonight. We're going to be doing it at 7:00. It is a premiere, but it is training, and it goes a little deeper. Okay. And the PDF files, you'll have a link as to where to get them. Once again, 100% free. So this is just stuff that you can use to help design your life, design your marriage, design moving forward. This is going to help you. It's not, we're not perfect, but I got to believe that's going to make a huge difference with the way you do things. The other thing that we're going to teach too, for those that have like a brick and mortar type business, as well as digital or the new economy way, we have some methods that can help you exponentially increase the revenue of your business and decrease the amount of time you're in the business. Make sure you tune into that as well. Alrighty, we will see you guys on the next one next Wednesday at 9 a.m. And hope you all have a blessed and incredible week. Peace.
All right. Yep. See you.